Did you know that every time you apply that expensive topical flea treatment to your cat's skin, you're essentially playing a game of chemical roulette with the health of your entire household? A recent comprehensive study discovered alarming traces of veterinary pesticides in the cerebrospinal fluid of nearly every child tested in homes using these so-called safe, spot-on treatments. Here's what the veterinary establishment has been keeping quiet about. Those prescription-strength flea and tick medications don't actually create a protective barrier for your cat. They only work after parasites have already pierced your cat's delicate skin and started feeding on their blood. So why are we risking our family's well-being when the actual solution has been hiding in plain sight, sitting right there in your kitchen cabinet? In this presentation, I'm going to expose the powerful natural combination you can add to your cat's food bowl to build an invisible defense system so robust that fleas and ticks will actively avoid your feline companion like it's radioactive. This is the knowledge that pharmaceutical companies are desperately trying to keep from spreading because it threatens their multi-billion-dollar flea and tick industry. Let me be completely transparent with you. Why does the veterinary pharmaceutical industry continue aggressively marketing those monthly spot-on treatments and prescription flea chewables? The answer is brutally straightforward. Those products generate recurring revenue through convenience and dependency. But here's the hidden cost of that convenience. Most chemical active ingredients like fipronil and imidacloprid only eliminate fleas and ticks after they've already embedded themselves into your cat's skin, already injected saliva into the bite, already created the opening for disease transmission. This means your beloved cat still suffers the pain of the initial bite, still faces the genuine risk of contracting serious tick-borne illnesses, all while simultaneously trying to metabolically process and eliminate toxic synthetic pesticides from their tiny bodies. But there exists a fundamentally different approach that actually works better. Instead of going on offense after the fact, imagine if you could make your cat completely unpalatable to parasites from the very beginning. The breakthrough lies in naturally transforming your cat's skin chemistry and body odor signature through nutrition, the exact biological markers that parasites use to locate and select their victims. When you introduce the potent combination of Brewer's yeast and coconut oil into your cat's daily meals, you're essentially building a sophisticated defense infrastructure from the cellular level outward. Brewer's yeast contains an extraordinary spectrum of B-complex vitamins and trace minerals that subtly but unmistakably alter your cat's natural scent profile in ways imperceptible to human noses but absolutely repulsive to parasites' hypersensitive olfactory systems. Meanwhile, the lauric acid concentrated in coconut oil functions as a biological protective barrier directly on your cat's skin surface. This isn't merely about repelling unwanted pests. It's about comprehensively nourishing your cat's entire biological system so their body can mount its own natural defense mechanisms without pharmaceutical intervention. Let's break down exactly how this biological two-part system works at the molecular level. First, Brewer's yeast. This isn't some generic supplement you can find at any store. It's an absolute nutritional powerhouse loaded with bioavailable B vitamins and essential mineral cofactors. Once your cat's digestive system absorbs and processes this yeast, something remarkable happens. The nutrient compounds subtly but definitely alter the precise scent profile your cat naturally emits through their skin glands and pores. You won't notice any change whatsoever. Your cat will still smell like your cat. But to a flea or tick possessing sensory organs thousands of times more sensitive than human olfaction, your cat suddenly becomes completely unappetizing. Where they once smelled like an ideal meal source, now they smell like something to actively avoid. The shift is so pronounced in your cat's biochemistry that parasites literally have to work against their own instincts to even consider approaching. Then there's the second component, and honestly, it's the absolute star performer in this nutritional pairing: coconut oil. The magic behind coconut oil specifically relates to its exceptionally high concentration of lauric acid, a saturated fat that independent scientific research has conclusively demonstrated possesses remarkable parasite-repelling properties at both the microscopic and observable levels. When you incorporate coconut oil into your cat's regular food, something multifaceted occurs. On one level, it supports optimal digestive function and promotes luxuriously healthy, shiny fur from the inside through improved lipid absorption and skin hydration. but simultaneously, it works to establish a natural protective lipid layer directly on your cat's skin surface. This creates a physical barrier that parasites struggle to penetrate, like trying to grip glass with wet fingers. Together, these two natural substances deliver a devastating 1-2 combination that completely disrupts how parasites operate. The first component makes your cat smell completely wrong to predatory insects. The second component makes your cat physically uncomfortable or impossible to bite. Rather than using toxic synthetic chemicals to kill parasites after they've already caused harm, you're using sophisticated nutrition to create an entire biological environment that parasites find completely hostile and uninviting from the moment they detect your cat's presence. Now here's the critical part that actually determines whether this strategy succeeds or fails. How exactly do you integrate this dynamic nutritional duo into your cat's meals in a way that actually works? The absolute golden rule is maintaining strict consistency while calibrating the dosage appropriately for your specific cat's weight and age. For smaller cats weighing less than 8 pounds, begin with just a 1/4 teaspoon of Brewer's yeast combined with a 1/4 teaspoon of pure coconut oil mixed thoroughly into their regular food. For medium-sized cats in the 10 to 15 pound range, the optimal dosage is 1/2 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of each ingredient stirred directly into their meal. For larger cats and robust breeds exceeding 15 pounds, increase to 1 to 2 teaspoons of each component daily. Here's something genuinely important that people frequently overlook. Don't attempt to rush this process. If your cat possesses a particularly sensitive digestive system or has previously experienced digestive upset, start with barely a pinch amount and incrementally increase the dosage over the course of 7 to 10 days, allowing their digestive microbiome to gradually acclimate to these new compounds without triggering upset. You'll begin observing measurable results somewhere between 3 to 5 weeks of consistent daily supplementation. That's the actual time frame required for these nutrients to accumulate within your cat's system and fully reorganize their protective scent profile and skin barrier. This isn't an overnight fix, but it's a permanent solution that actually works. Beyond simply mixing it into their food bowl, you can additionally apply a small amount of coconut oil onto the vulnerable, thin-skinned areas, like your cat's belly, inner ears, and between their paw pads right before outdoor time. This strategy amplifies the external protective barrier and creates that perfect synergistic inside-out, outside-in defense architecture that makes your cat virtually unattractive to parasites from every possible angle. But Brewer's yeast and coconut oil aren't your only weapons in this natural arsenal. Have you ever considered that some completely ordinary herbs growing wild in yards and gardens actually possess serious parasite-repelling capabilities that rival pharmaceutical solutions? Contemporary scientific research has verified that the natural essential oil compounds found within dried thyme and catnip generate incredibly potent insect-repelling effects, specifically against fleas and ticks. The molecular composition of these herbs essentially broadcasts a constant alarm signal that warns parasites to maintain maximum distance. Implementation is remarkably simple. Just sprinkle a tiny amount of finely dried thyme or a small pinch of dried catnip directly into your cat's food bowl alongside their regular meals. Not only is this approach completely safe and non-toxic, but it simultaneously adds beneficial fiber content and powerful antioxidant compounds that support your cat's overall health. Here's an even more innovative approach. If you have outdoor garden space, intentionally plant catnip and thyme in strategic locations around your house's perimeter, especially near entryways and windows. These herbs create a natural botanical perimeter that actively repels fleas and ticks from establishing themselves in your yard before they ever encounter your cat. It's essentially creating a protective buffer zone using pure botany. If you're searching for a completely chemical-free method to actually eliminate fleas and ticks that already exist on your cat without introducing synthetic pesticides, food-grade diatomaceous earth deserves serious consideration. This substance is a fine white powder derived from the fossilized remains of ancient microscopic aquatic organisms. Here's where it becomes fascinating. It doesn't operate through chemical poisoning whatsoever. Instead, it functions through pure physics and mechanical action. Those microscopic particles possess microscopically sharp edges that act like incredibly fine cutting implements to insects, slicing through their protective external shells and causing rapid moisture loss that results in death through dehydration. You can carefully apply this powder to your cat's coat and gently brush it through, or distributed across carpeted areas, underneath furniture, and into crevices where parasites typically hide. Because this version is specifically food grade, it remains completely safe even if your cat licks some off during grooming, and it poses zero risk to children who might contact it. It represents the perfect alternative to those harsh chemical powders available at conventional pet stores. Here's another strategy that professional animal rescue shelters frequently employ when kittens and cats arrive with severe existing flea infestations and cannot tolerate conventional treatments. The method is simple and remarkably effective. Perform a thorough warm bath using only gentle soap, such as organic baby shampoo or unscented organic dish soap. Most people focus on the soap itself, but the actual secret lies in the timing and duration. When you create a generous lather covering your cat's entire body and allow that soapy layer to remain in contact with their skin for precisely 10 minutes, something critical occurs. The soap chemically disrupts the parasite's ability to maintain secure grip on your cat's hair and skin, essentially suffocating them through coating their respiratory spiracles. When combined with the coconut oil your cat is already consuming as dietary supplementation, this bathing approach effectively eliminates existing parasites while simultaneously reinforcing that natural protective scent that discourages reinfestation. It's a rapid, completely non-toxic solution that generates results equivalent to expensive pharmaceutical treatments without any associated health risks. That said, I need to be completely honest. No approach exists that's 100% foolproof against parasites under every possible circumstance. Even though these natural methodologies demonstrate remarkable effectiveness, you should absolutely maintain regular use of a fine-tooth flea comb dragged through your cat's coat after any outdoor adventures, particularly following time spent in tall grasses or wooded areas. Beyond your cat specifically, maintaining rigorous household cleanliness proves equally important. Wash all pet bedding in hot water weekly and vacuum your living spaces frequently to eliminate flea eggs and larvae that might be concealed in carpet fibers and upholstery. The genuine long-term solution to protecting your cat from parasites combines 3 essential elements. First, the nutritional approach using Brewer's yeast and coconut oil to make your cat biologically unattractive to parasites. Second, topical application of these same natural substances to create a physical barrier. Third, maintaining rigorous household and personal hygiene. This combination of proper internal nutrition, external protection, and environmental management represents the absolute most effective strategy for safeguarding your pet long-term without exposing your cat, your family, or your home to a single molecule of toxic synthetic chemicals. The choice is genuinely yours to make. You can continue following the veterinary pharmaceutical industry's recommendations and monthly spot-on treatments, accepting their assurances that these pesticides are safe despite mounting evidence to the contrary. Or you can take control of your cat's health, implement this proven natural approach, and experience the confidence that comes from knowing you're protecting your feline companion using nature's own defense mechanisms. Your cat's well-being and your family's safety might depend on the decision you make today. If you genuinely love your cat and want to discover additional natural health secrets that vets simply won't discuss, make sure you engage with this content and subscribe for more information. Share your experiences with this natural approach in the comments below, ask questions about proper dosing for your specific cat's weight, and join the growing community of cat owners who've chosen natural protection over pharmaceutical dependency.